Good morning. My name is Katherine WInge, and this is Gentle Yoga. Today we are going to need a chair if you have sensitive knees, and a blanket. Everyone's going to need a blanket or a towel, something that functions as it. We're going to start in a supported back bend. I have folded my yoga blanket halfways and then halfways again. So now it's about an inch thick. Come on down and lay onto the blanket. The blanket's going to be just behind your heart. Technically bringing the shoulder blades onto the back ribs of the body. My head is off the blanket. My shoulders are starting to fall off the blanket here. And I'm just going to extend my arms left and right. They're above the blanket. And just take a moment to walk the shoulder blades flat. Let your knees bend, feet on the floor, thighs rest together just to begin. And closing the eyes if that feels good. Welcome yourself to your practice. Celebrate arriving here. Sometimes that's just the hardest part, just making it to the mat. So extend some gratitude for yourself for that. And then feel into what you're experiencing currently in your body, your heart, your mind. So in addition to teaching yoga, I also teach mindful self-compassion courses. And I thought today I would just go over the foundations of mindful self-compassion as we move through our practice. Not only is a mindful self-compassion practice excellent for helping you stay in touch with yourself and connected, but it helps you connect with others. So the first foundation of mindful self-compassion is simply mindfulness. So just being aware of what we're experiencing right now without over-identifying with what we're experiencing or beginning to ruminate, just allowing yourself to take what you're experiencing almost as object. For example, I didn't sleep very much last night. My son was up most of the night for whatever reason. That's doing what toddlers do. So maybe I would just check in and be like, I'm tired today. There's sleepiness in my body. And so once you've identified whatever you're experiencing, and particularly if you're experiencing something that's unpleasant, right? Then if it feels okay for you, extend your legs long, lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. And then bending your elbows, and just have the elbows on the blanket and the backs of the hands off the blanket, and then re-flatten your shoulder blades underneath you. Now, if that doesn't happen for you, maybe the hands are just kind of hovering. You could support the backs of the hands in some way. You could keep the arms straight. So take care of yourself. This is just meant to help deepen the stretch in the chest. And let's just take a couple big breaths in here, big breaths out. And keeping that chest open, keeping the shoulder blades flat on the back of the ribs, moving down the back of the neck long. And the second foundation of mindful self-compassion is common humanity. So recognizing that there's many folks out there right now on this planet who are experiencing a similar situation as you. I like to sometimes think about all the moms who are up and dads, grandmas, grandpas, whoever is the caretaker of a toddler who is also not sleeping. And just noticing that this is a common human experience, and the experience of whatever it is that I'm encountering that is uncomfortable or difficult. This is suffering, And suffering is sometimes, it is a part of life. So you're not alone in what you're experiencing, whatever it is. And soften the jaw, soften the tongue. And then the last foundation of mindful self-compassion is self-kindness. So instead of self-judgment or maybe beating yourself up for whatever it is that you're experiencing that potentially is unpleasant, you offer yourself something as you would offer a friend. How would you speak to a good friend who is encountering a similar situation? And for this, I'll have you bend your knees once again, place your feet on the floor, let your thighs fall towards each other, walk your feet wide, and then place your hands on your low ribs. And so maybe there's some kind words you could think that you would say to a friend who's experiencing something similar. Maybe it's just a wish. May I be kind to myself today? And we could take this kindness into action by inviting in some big, deep belly breaths, expanding the low ribs as you inhale. You could breathe out through the mouth if that feels good, or maybe out through the nose. Offering yourself kindness through the breath. Let's do that about 2 more rounds of breath that feels nourishing and kind to you. Excellent. And then we'll roll to one side and slowly come on up. If you have sensitive knees, go ahead and have a seat on the chair. Those of you who are okay with being on hands and knees, you're going to come on to hands and knees. You can move your blanket so it's supporting the knees, and you're simply just going to jump rope the spine around. You're going to circular move the spine around. Those of you in the chair, you can do this. So the belly comes forward, the head lifts, and then ribs go to the left, towards the ceiling, and then to the right, and then coming down, and head goes opposite direction as the ribs lift towards the ceiling, the head drops. And as the ribs and belly come towards the floor, the head lifts. Let's go a few more times in these circles, but opposite direction. Those of you in the chair, continue doing this. Certainly can do this in a seated position. And then those of you on hands and knees, sit back into child's pose and bring your arms alongside the body. You can just let your head hang for a moment. Those of you in the chair, you're simply going to sit here, arms on either side of the chair like this. And then we're going to do the Vajrasana flow variation that we've done before. So on an inhale, you lift up, sweep the arms up overhead. Those of you on your knees, you're up on your knees. On the exhale, swan dive, arms come back behind you. Keep moving with your breath. Those of you on the floor, forehead may tap the floor if it can. If it doesn't, that's okay. We're hinging from our hips, stacking the palms, face up on the sacrum as we come down. If you are on the floor, if you're on the chair, then don't worry about it. Just have your arms kind of sweep back behind you. Keep moving with your breath. Slowing the breath down, deepening it. Let it be like a moving meditation. And I'll just let you move with your breath here for the next about 4 or 5 rounds of breath. Good, let's do about 1 or 2 more. And then we'll finish. Those of you on your knees, just come to stand up on your knees. Those of you on the chair, just sit up. And sweep the arms up overhead. On the next inhale, bend the elbows into a cactus shape, just like we did earlier. Kind of paste those shoulder blades onto the back so you're drawing the elbows back behind you. Tummy's in to support this, ribs in. And then swing the elbows forward just a little bit, hands back. So, oh, and do have your elbows a little bit lower than your shoulders, if you'll notice. And just check, sometimes the ears, the shoulders right up towards the ears for this. If that's the case for you, just shake it out and then come back into it. See if you can keep the shoulders softening away from the ears. Good. On the next inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale. Those of you on hands and knees, if you like a downward dog, please take it. Those of you who downward dog doesn't work for you, choices here. You could either just simply fold forward, stretching out the backs of the legs, or maybe you'd like to take a chair downward dog. So walk the feet back and hinge from the hip creases as you melt your heart towards the floor. Let the knees bend a little bit if they need to, no problem. This class is going to be focusing on chest openers, and we're opening our chest through back body strength. Deepen your breath, whatever position you're in, and breathing into those tight places. Imagine you can send your breath into the backs of the legs if that's what's feeling tight for you. Take about one more breath here. Good. And then come on up to stand. And you can move your blanket off to the side for now. You won't need it. Your chair can be kind of close by. Actually, have your chair facing the short edge of your mat. And it could just be just barely, front two legs just barely sitting on the edge of the mat. Okay, from here, standing in mountain pose, tummy in, lengthening your tail towards the floor. On an inhale, reach the arms up overhead and take a side bend. Interlacing the fingers, rotate your palms towards the ceiling and side bending to your right. If this isn't accessible for your shoulders, maybe you just reach the left arm up overhead as you slide right hand down that thigh. Let's take one more round of breath. Inhale, come on back up. And exhale, relax the shoulders, feel your feet. Inhale, side bend to the left. Equal weight in both feet, really pushing down, and not so important about how far you bend to one side, but see, can you get a nice even stretch along the right side of the body? And always an opportunity to kind of go through those three foundations of self-compassion throughout our practice too, just noticing what's here. Mindfulness, and then inhaling, come on back up through center and release the arms down. Let's do that again, but let's do it on tiptoes. Inhale, sweep the arms up, interlace the fingers, rotate the palms towards the sky, side bend to the right. Inhale, come back up, stay up on the tiptoes. Side bend to the left. Maybe feeling into the common humanity of having trouble balancing, right? Maybe there's other people who may be having trouble lifting their heels or breathing. Good, and then come on back up and release. Roll the shoulders, both directions. Good. Go ahead and turn to face your chair. And you don't have to be, you may or may not use it, so it doesn't matter how close you are to it. But I'd like you to step your right foot forward, left foot back, bend your front knee, coming into a warrior one position. You'll notice my back toes are slightly turned out, and I'm squaring my hips and shoulders to the front edge of my mat. On an inhale, cactus your arms open, the front knee bends. On the exhale, straighten the front knee, arms alongside the body. We'll just move through that with the breath. Inhale, low belly in, cactus arms.
Exhale, front knee straightens, arms alongside the body. Inhale, bend front knee, open wide. Exhale, straighten, arms alongside the body. Let's do that about 3 more times to the rhythm of your breath, slowing it down if you can. Whenever you arrive on your third one, stay in this warrior one, Virabhadrasana one variation. Pace those shoulder blades onto the back. Again, if those shoulders are riding up to the ears, to give it a break, shake it out, and then come back into it. Maybe elbows are a little bit lower so that the neck can stay long. Keep low belly pulling in. We'll take one more round of breath here, moving the elbows back in space behind you. And then release. Interlace your fingers behind you. If this isn't available to you and it doesn't cause your chest to open, bring your hands to your hips. Straighten your front leg, hinge at your hip crease, pyramid pose or Parshvottanasana, hinging forward. Okay, options, you could just stay here if this feels nice for you. You could release, bring the hands to the chair. You could also bring your hands to the floor. Let's just stretch out the back of the front leg, squaring the hips to face the front of the mat, reaching that right hip back. 2 more rounds of breath here. Maybe even pressing that front foot into the floor like you're pressing a gas pedal. Both legs are straightened. Fabulous. Go ahead and step forward. Come on up to stand. We'll do the second side. Step your right foot back. Come into that warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Check it out, set it up, square your hips towards the front of the mat, shoulders towards the front of the mat. And then inhale, cactus arms, broad chest. Exhale, straighten front leg, arms alongside the body. Let's keep moving with the breath, feeling the feet plug into the floor. All the corners of the feet, so the outer edges, inner edges of the feet. And try to keep the neck long too on all sides. Ears over shoulders if you can. Let's do about 1 more of these, then we'll pause. In that warrior one, cactus arms. Front knee is bent, squaring those hips. Scoop that low belly in. And that after we check in, are mindful of our experience, we connect to the common humanity of whatever discomfort that we're feeling, knowing that there's a whole village of people on this planet who are experiencing a similar thing. We then bring it back to how can I be kind to myself today? So go ahead and straighten the front leg, interlace the fingers back behind you, open the chest, right? Maybe this isn't the kind thing to do for yourself today. Maybe just bringing hands to hips is. Whatever it is, do it. Hinge from your hips, folding over front leg. Maybe you'd like to grab a hold of that chair, but wherever you are in this front leg stretch, that front leg, our front leg is the left leg, but we're stretching the back of the left leg, right? So open the chest, melt the heart towards the floor as whatever variation that you're doing. And breathing deep. Maybe pressing the left ball of the foot into the floor. As you reach that left hip away from the foot. Take about 1 more breath. Excellent. Step forward and slowly come on up. Mountain pose, feel your breath. Okay. Next pose has 2 variations, another opportunity to be kind to yourself. If you have knee stuff going on and a deep bend of the knees feels bad for you, you are going to lay on your back. Those who are okay with a deep bend in your knee, you're going to come down onto hands and knees. You're going to bend your right knee and straighten your left leg behind you. So this isn't pigeon pose. You're actually, my calf muscle is directly underneath my right thigh. Hope you can see that. Yeah. So I'm just, if this was a yin posture, it would be swan, if that's helpful for you, those of you who are into yin. My left leg is straight back behind me. And so from here, you're going to exhale, bring your heart and head towards the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the head. You're going to move back and forth like that. Those of you who need a little bit more gentleness, the right knee just comes into the chest, left leg extends. So this is a Panasana option, another opportunity for self-kindness, or maybe the face down version is the self-kind version for you. So wherever you are, let's take about 3 more rounds of breath, either in stillness or moving. And then on the third one, those of you who are in the variation I'm demoing, I'd like you to pause here, broaden your chest, look forward. So you're actually in quite a back bend here. Make sure that the hips are square to the front of the mat. Sometimes that left hip will try to kind of lift up. Good. And then we'll switch sides. So everybody switch out. Square those hips to the front of the mat if you're in my variation. And then we'll begin to move if you're in my variation. So on the exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. So you're actually using the strength of your arms as well as you do this. The top of the back foot is on the floor. And those of you who are just doing a Panasana on your back, we don't need to go big all the time. Just because you can go big doesn't mean necessarily that's the most beneficial. So please honor where you are today. Let's do about 1 more round of breath. And then pausing for a few rounds here. If you're in the back bend, keep drawing low belly in, moving shoulder blades behind you and down the back. All sides of the neck are long. Fabulous. Go ahead and come on out of it. We're going to come onto our belly. Beginning crocodile, just kind of take a rest. Take the feet as wide as the mat. Stack the hands. Bring your forehead to the tops of the hands and shimmy your hips, shaking out any tension, stress. Come into stillness and take 1 big belly breath into the mat. Let the breath out the mouth. Good, and then walk your feet together. Tops of the feet are on the mat. We're going to do a variation of cobra pose, a couple different variations. And again, with cobra, we want to keep the tops of the feet on the mat. So firm up the legs. This is the foundation for this back bend. Firm glutes. Bring your arms alongside the body, palms down, and then tent the hands so you're up on your fingertips. Forehead can come onto the mat. Low belly draws in, feet down. Inhale,
Lift the head and shoulders, gaze to the top edge of the mat, back of the neck long. Stay here for about 2 rounds of breath. Not so interested in how high you get, but rather the quality of activation in your back body, really spreading out the sensation throughout the entire back body instead of concentrating it in one place, like low back, right? Spread it out, press the tops of the feet down in the mat. One more breath. And then bring one side of your face to the mat, relax, take a break. Okay, we're going to do that one more time, or if you'd like to do a little bit more of a challenging Cobra variation, I'll walk you through it. So if your low back's feeling sensitive today, please just do the variation we previously did. If you'd like, if you're feeling good in your low back today, you're going to inhale, lift up cactus arms, okay? And then stay here as you exhale, tops of the feet on the floor, and then inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale, cactus arms. Oh, excuse me, I've got that backwards. Okay, let's try that again. Inhale, cactus arms. Exhale, reach. Inhale, cactus arms. Exhale, reach. Please do the variation of Cobra that is right for you. We'll do about 2 more rounds of breath. Lengthening tailbone towards the heels, tops of the feet to the floor. And then opposite cheek to the mat. Relax, take a break. Shimmy the hips. Good. Go ahead and come back to that first variation. The fingertips are to the floor, palms facing down. Tent your hands. I'm going to do a variation of bow. It's like a handless bow pose. On an inhale, you're going to lift your left leg, your heart, your shoulders. Bend your left knee. Try to lift the left knee a little off the floor. On the exhale, return to the mat. One cheek to the mat. On the inhale, same thing, opposite side, lift right leg, bend it. Try to lift that right knee off the mat, gazing forward, low belly in. Exhale, opposite cheek to the mat, relax. Let's do both sides 2 more times, or just rest. Again, take care of yourself, whatever you need today. Inhale, the knee bend, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, relax. Inhale, opposite knee bends, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale. Last round. Inhale, left knee bends. Lift the chest. Exhale. Inhale, right knee bends, gazing forward. Lift the chest. Exhale. Good, just rest here. Take the feet wide. Again, shimmying the hips. Big belly breath into the mat, out through the mouth. If you have sensitive knees, please roll onto your back. If you're feeling okay in your knees, push up into hands and knees position. People who can be on hands and knees, we're going to do some Chakravakasana. So that's like child pose, cow pose. Inhale, cow pose, back bend. Exhale, round the back, slowly sit back onto the heels. Those of you who have sensitive knees, just hug your knees into your chest as you lay on your back. On the inhale, come back into back bend, cow pose. Exhale, send the spine towards the ceiling, round, 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 particularly the low back. As you sit back onto the heels, let the head go. Keep moving with your breath if you're in the hands and knees variation. If you are on your back, just hugging the knees in, see if you can deepen your breath, breathing into your belly, breathing into your low back. Well, I'll take about 2 more rounds of breath. And hands and knees, folks, just sit back into child's pose. Take about 1 or 2 more rounds of breath here. Okay, and then we're all going to come on to our backs. Bring your arms alongside the body. Draw your knees into your chest. Feet will be off the floor. Breaking this down into the components. First, we're going to work on the legs, and we'll have the arms. On an inhale, extend the legs towards the sky. Now, maybe your knees bent, and this is as far as the legs get. No problem. Notice my feet are flexed. Do that. On the exhale, bend the knees, heels towards bottom. Inhale, extend legs, feel a stretch in the back of the legs, and exhales the bend. To add the arms, we sweep the arms up and overhead. On the inhale, your body looks like the letter L. On the exhale, sweep the arms down and alongside the body as the knees bend. Keep moving with your breath. And just evoke kind of the quality that you see when you see a cat stretches or a dog stretches. Every time you inhale and extend your limbs away from you, imagine like a cat stretching in the sun. Keep moving through this. And if you'd like, if this feels okay for your breath, try to create a slight pause at the top of the breath and a pause at the bottom of the breath. So you just kind of remain in the L position for a moment, breathless. And then knees bend, arms alongside the body. Remain in this resting position, breathless for a moment. Let's do 3 more rounds just like that. And then we'll all meet with arms back behind us, legs extended, and then interlace the fingers and extend the palms away from you. If this isn't accessible, this interlace of the fingers behind you, you could come back to the cactus arms. We'll take 1 more round of breath in whatever variation you've chosen. Good, go ahead and release. Let's roll to one side. Slowly come up. Grab your blanket once more and lift your hips. I would say my hips are about, they'll be about 5 inches high above the floor. So you could try that for starts, maybe lessen or increase as you need. I just want you to sit tall. Extend your legs in front of you. Flex your feet. If you have to extend yourself, if you have to get really high and your legs are really high, why don't you just slide something behind those knees too? Knees totally can bend here. That's all right, particularly if you have tight hamstrings. Keep the feet flexed and active though. Spread the toes. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold with an open chest. Stay here. Notice my chest is open as best I can. And then inhale, cactus arms. Exhale, extend, arms up.
Good, we're just gonna move like that. Inhale's a cactus. Now, some of you, if you have like sciatica or you have really sensitive back, having the arms overhead may not be the right thing for you. It may increase your nerve pain. If that's the case for you, you could either do just arms cactus like this, or maybe you just bring the hands to the floor and enjoy the back of the leg stretch. Whatever you've chosen to do, though, out of self-kindness, right? We'll do about 3 more rounds of breath. Spread those toes. Okay, now we're all going to just enjoy the stretch. So maybe just fold. If you don't want to flex your feet here, you just want to kind of let them go soft, let them go soft. So let this just be a pleasurable forward fold, couple breaths. Okay, come on up, cross your legs, right shin in front. And then just fold over your crossed legs, inviting a stretch. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of a stretch in the outer right hip, a little bit of a release in the low back. You can walk your hands forward. If your chair is nearby, this can be kind of fabulous. You can cross your elbows on the chair or your forearms on your chair and just let your head rest. Soften your belly, soften your face. And then come on up, let's switch sides. Left shin in front and fold forward. Maybe use the chair, maybe the hands just walk forward. Soft belly, breathing not only to expand the belly, but expanding the low back as well on each inhalation. One more round of breath here. Good, go ahead and come on up. You can move all your props off to the side. We're just going to do one more posture, then we'll come into relaxation pose. So if you know you like to stuff pillows or something under your knees or whatever you like to do, have those props nearby. And then come onto your back, knees bent, preparing for bridge pose. We're going to do bridge a little bit different than we have done recently. Extend the arms back behind you. If this doesn't work for your shoulders, have the arms into a cactus. Gaze at the ceiling. Ensure your feet are in a good place for a bridge pose. And then inhale, lift the hips towards the sky. Keep the inner thighs active, thighs parallel. Feel the strength of your glutes. Gaze on the ceiling. And chin is pointing to the ceiling, but you're lifting your heart towards the chin. And the knees are moving away from the heart. Stretching your midsection like taffy. Let's take 1 or 2 more breaths here. Not so interested about how high you get, but rather, are your feet connected to the floor? Are your inner thighs active? Are the thighs parallel? Are you feeling a nice stretch? And are you breathing? And then from here, slowly roll down the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. Pausing once you bring the rear to the floor.
Let the thighs touch, walk the feet wide. Soften the jaw. Slowly turn your head to your right. Slowly turn your head to your left. Bring the head back through center and release the arms alongside the body. Go ahead and set yourself up for relaxation pose. If relaxation pose isn't your style, you could always just sit up and just quietly pay attention to your breath, letting go of thoughts, doing a little bit of meditation. Extend your arms out alongside the body, back to the hands to the floor. Walk your shoulder blades together and down the back. And there's been so much research about how just being self-compassionate with ourselves can really help us in life, be more effective at our job, be more connected, present partners, present parents. In fact, being self-compassionate actually helps you be more creative and take bigger risks. When you know that you can always find some kindness for yourself, regardless of any perceived failures or shortcomings. So once again, just feeling into your current experience, being mindful, what's present. And if you're feeling any discomforts, recognize that this is suffering and this is a part of living. You are alive, and there are many beings on this planet that experience a similar situation as you. You're not alone. And with this knowledge that maybe you're having a challenging moment or experiencing something uncomfortable, offer yourself some kindness as you would a good friend. What would you say to a good friend in a similar situation? Maybe even it's just a gesture. You could do that gesture with your hands, maybe a hand on your heart, hand on your belly, a very intentional, deep breath, perhaps. Maybe it's a wish. May I be kind to myself. May I take it easy on myself today. And then letting all of that go and just simply being with your physical form here and now. Feel the weight of your body, feel your breath. Shavasana. If you can stay longer for relaxation pose, please do. If you need to continue on with the rest of your day, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and ankles, moving into a big morning stretch. And then giving the knees, the shins a hug, drawing them into the chest, and give yourself a hug of gratitude for offering yourself this time today, your body, your physical form, knowing that it not only benefits you, but all those around you. And then rolling to one side and coming up to a comfortable seat of your choice. We'll bring our palms together in front of our heart and then reach into your heart. See if there's anyone you'd like to dedicate your practice to. Imagine you could take any good feelings that you feel right now and you could just kind of wrap them up on an inhale and send them out on an exhale. Who would you send these to you? And then visualize this being wherever they are in their day. We'll take a big breath in, send it out. See them feeling good in their body, heart, and mind. Relaxed, present, loving, compassionate. Thank you so much for your practice today. Namaste.